20 years after Atomic Armageddon isn't a great time to be a Muscovite. The once grand city of Moscow has been reduced to a toxic tundra populated by vicious mutant beasts, and any surviving humans live deep underground, scratching out a living in dank, dangerous subway tunnels. The world of Metro 2033 is a grim one, and your claustrophobic travels are saturated with an oppressive atmosphere that paints a truly bleak picture of man's subterranean existence. The environments are immersive and surprisingly varied, and though it's not a particularly great-looking game, the grimy aesthetic helps mask much of the visual roughness. Between bloodthirsty beasts and hostile humans, staying alive can be challenging, but you have a unique and interesting array of weapons at your disposal. While they're certainly up to the task, the shooting and movement mechanics can feel a bit dated, and the enemy AI isn't very sharp. Yet your adventure is full of enough intrigue, action, and exploration to keep you invested throughout the 10+ hours of the campaign. Metro 2033 may not keep pace with the best shooters on the market, but it is a fresh and entertaining new adventure into the post-apocalyptic future. And what a bleak future it is! Human civilization ekes out a living in the skeletal underground remains of its former glory. Civilians huddle in sad, cramped stations and try to protect themselves against marauding mutants. Depression and poverty practically drip from the walls, yet flickers of human spirit still burn bright.
Thank you for saving my son.
Children exchange boogeyman stories with thrills of excitement, and a fireside guitarist plucks a mellow tune. Cherish these human moments because the tunnels outside of these stations are relentlessly grim. The tracks are littered with half-eaten corpses of dead adventurers, and they echo with the howls of hungry beasts. Other areas are eerily quiet and deserted. These places make you wonder what could scare both man and beast away, and it's not long before you get an answer. Darkness is everywhere in the Metro system, and you'll rely on your headlamp, night vision goggles, and other light sources to illuminate your path. Every light source is intentional in these environments, which are full of immersive details. This isn't a beautiful game, however. Textures can be a bit rough around the edges, animations can occasionally get wonky, and the whites of people's eyes feel a bit too white. Yet despite these visual blemishes, the world of Metro 2033 is engrossing. The atmosphere is richly oppressive throughout, drawing you into the game and setting the tone for your difficult journey. The story gets off to an abrupt start, but once it gets underway, you'll meet some interesting characters and travel through a surprisingly diverse array of environments. Braver souls still use railcars to travel the metro tracks, and not every station is a dreary trading outpost. You'll come across warring ideologies, secret cadres, desperate wanderers, and even venture out to the frozen wastelands above. There is some vague exposition that keeps the story from really coalescing, but by patching together information gleaned by observing environmental clues and eavesdropping on conversations, you really come to appreciate this intriguing world and your place in it. Now, in order to take your place in the world, you're gonna need guns. There's a good balance of clever post-war and powerful pre-war weaponry. Many guns can be upgraded with scopes, silencers, and other equipment. And you'll find weapons to purchase in stations, to steal from enemy stashes, and to loot from dead bodies. It can be tough to tell what the specs on a found weapon are, given that you only have a small image to go on, and switching weapons is really the only way to check your ammo supply. Bullets are a commodity in Metro 2033, and military-grade bullets are valuable as currency, not to mention extra powerful in combat. You can run into unpleasant ammo shortages early in the game, but unless you're the trigger-happy type, you'll generally have enough ammo for the situation at hand, provided you scavenge your surroundings well. Exploration is a great way to stay stocked and to get immersed in the world, but you won't be the only one on the hunt. If you do run short on ammo, there's always your trusty blade, though it's most effective on weakened or unsuspecting foes. Stealth is a valuable tool in the Metro, and there's plenty of darkness to hide in. You have to be aware of making noise, shining your headlamp, or triggering enemy traps, and even then you may unwittingly alert enemies to your presence. Shooting and movement mechanics are solid but not fantastic. You can go where you want, but be prepared for occasional hitches. You can shoot who you want, but the gunplay isn't particularly satisfying. And expect your human enemies to behave oddly from time to time because their AI isn't stellar. Despite these shortcomings, the action is tense and immediate, complementing the oppressive atmosphere nicely. On the whole, your adventure is well-paced, varied, and peppered with some emotional and exciting moments. It's an engaging journey, and the rich atmosphere is remarkably effective at drawing you in and enveloping you. There are blemishes across the board that can make the game feel like it's a few years behind the times, yet the overall package holds up well. Metro 2033 is a dark, atmospheric adventure through the husk of a ruined world, one that is unique and rewarding enough to warrant exploration for those intrepid enough to brave its dangerous depths.